Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Exodus. In this episode we have one main goal. We are going to be looking at Apotheosis. It's what we've been collecting for quite a while now. These gems right here and some gem dust. I made a little bit off camera. We're gonna make most of it right now. But there's quite a lot to do with this. As you can tell, I also have been collecting some armor and weapons and whatnot. The main difference between all of them is that if you look at them, they all have affixes. Yes, they all have affixes or something else to boost what they do. Those will be helpful later on, but first let's just grab these gems. Just throw them right there. Oops. Which gem was that? That was this one. Let's turn off these magnets. So the way that you start Apotheosis is you need to first get gem dust. To do that, you gotta take these gems and you gotta crush them with an anvil. Like that. Now I have not enough gem dust for what I just gave. There we go. Clearly I missed with some of it as well. So let's drop it back down again. There we go. Now we have a lot of gem dust, more than we'll hopefully need, because it's always better to have more than we need than less. Let's start off with this. Is just going to be some, let's do it in here because this will auto replace. There we go. 512 gem fused slates. These will be used later to make any of our sigils that we will need, like the sigil of socketing, adding sockets like those, the empty sockets that we can put gems in that do different things. For example, like this gem, when in a weapon slot, it does 70% more crit damage, chest plates 35% more max health, helmets 22.5% attack damage, and trident on throw hits, strength 2 is applied. All of the gems have different abilities, and that is something that will be helpful to have all of our armor give. Grab a stack of this, almost. Alright, let's see. The salvaging table. The salvaging table is the reason as to why we have so many of these. We put this down. We can take some of this. Salvage. There we go. Let's do this for the rest of the stuff. There. There we go. It's quite a bit of material, which is good. And this is useless. Alright, now that we have all of this material, first let's take Alright, scraps can go in here. And the diamonds. The chains can just go, and the iron can be dropped. There we go. Alright, so now we have mythic materials, we have epic materials, we have rare materials, and uncommon materials. We don't have any common materials, and that shouldn't be an issue, hopefully. Let's see, we need the reforge table, which requires this. Need some... I have all of that. Oh, I was in the wrong inventory. And there's the chain. Reforge table, simple reforge table. There we go. Now we need this for right there. Reforge table. Now we have the reforging table. The reforging table will allow us to take our items and change the rarity of it. So this iron pickaxe, if I put this in here with, of course, the sigils that will be used to power it, which should be this one right here. Very cheap. It's just gem dust and the runic gem fused slates. We put that in along with the item we want to change, and we can reforge it to different tiers. Next though, before we do that, we're also going to craft the other things we'll need. First, let's do the augmenting table. This will allow us to change the affixes on our items. For example, this chestplate. The plus 36% armor below the plus 8 armor when on body, that is an affix. We can change that using the augmenting table. We can also change, like, explosion damage is reduced by 25%. That can be changed as well. Of course, this one also requires fuel, specifically this fuel, which is the hardest of the bunch because it requires the mythic material. Now let's see, for our next stuff, we're gonna need to be in here. We're gonna make some sigils of rebirth. More than that. This is the fuel for this station. 180 should do. Next is the sigil of enhancement. Now I can't make all of this because in order to enhance something, you also need the material of the tier you're trying to enhance it into. Make as many of that as we can, and as many of that as we can. There we go. For now, that's all of the sigils I'm going to make. So let's start with just throwing that in there and that in there. Now we have do we want to make new armor as well? Preferably, if we did, we'd want it to be something that can't break, which would be something relying on an energy source, which is not going to be that. No, that requires nuclear fission. That might be something we'll do in the future, but currently, well, it is something we'll do in the future, but currently it's not something we will be doing. So I guess, For now, we can wait on upgrading our armor. Instead, we'll upgrade our weapon. Oops, wrong thing. Oh well. Now we can put it in here and change the affixes. A lot of levels. I need more levels. Unless, if I put that back in there, ancient knowledge. So that's going to take the rest of our resources, but that ancient knowledge is something that will be very helpful for this. We're going to go to the mob farm, and we're going to go towards the zombies, I guess. Alright, once we're in here, we're just going to start killing them. You can see our XP is already going up quite a lot. That is the effect of the ancient knowledge. Ancient knowledge works by giving the player more knowledge. I just saw something break. I do not like that. Oh. That's what broke. Zombie charm broke. So we're gonna need to make a new zombie charm, I guess. Which isn't that bad. Alright, it's been a little bit and I've attained the other levels that we will need. So let's start with changing, let's see, lifesteal. That could be a good one. So instead of fire damage, we instead have lifesteal. So I'm going to be looking for lifesteal from this right there. We're not going to upgrade anything just yet. Crit chance, our possibilities, armor shred. Ooh, luck. We're going for luck. No, attack speed maybe? Armor pierce, I guess, is what we're gonna keep. Murderous, we do not need attack damage. Armor shred is fine. Cold damage, no. We'll keep. Elusive, we do not need speed. Really? There. Ancient knowledge 2, that's what we're looking for. And we're out of sigils. Damn it. Doesn't seem like we can upgrade our materials into a different sigil as well. This could definitely get pretty annoying. I think I'm gonna just have to wait around and kill some more mythic bosses from that Apotheosis mod. But actually no, I can't even upgrade these up. I mean, I guess until then what we can do is take like the unnaming, no longer named. That's no longer named. now let's see. That has 3 slots currently. 3 is the maximum, I guess. So let's see what gems we want into that slot. We're only going to look at perfect gems just because I have a lot of those. Don't need attack damage, so it's not going on the weapon. It's not a tool, so that doesn't matter. Attack speed, maybe. Armor pierce. Ignores 40% damage. 30% lifesteal, that's pretty good. 8 cold damage. Fire damage. Experience gained. Ooh, that might be... might actually have to settle with that experience gained. One of them at least. 70% crit damage. Increase to sharpness levels. Armor shred, but less armor. So we're not looking for that less armor. Probably an increase to sharpness levels. What else would be a good choice? I guess an attack speed bonus. Does that actually count as a light weapon? No, it does not. Ah, that's sad. Wait, what? Okay, no, it does. Here we go. That's all of our slots. 60% XP gained, 50% attack speed bonus, and 4 levels to sharpness. I'm now realizing that was a really stupid one because I don't need extra damage at all. Besides that, let's see about taking our backpack. So I believe we can. Yes, we can. Oh, I guess we can only do 2 slots like that. That's the one we wear currently. I guess I'm not gonna add anything to that because I might be able to get a 3rd slot through this forging. Oh yeah, I also wanted to check what this does. The Affix of Malice. Malice will be applied on craft. I don't know what that does though. I have 0 clue what Malice actually does. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Nope, don't do that. We're gonna go here. Now I'm gonna wait. It's probably gonna take a while to get all of the mythic items we need, so I'll be back in a short time for you guys. It's gonna be pretty long for me. See you guys in a moment. Alright, I am back and I have the mythic materials that we've been needing. I don't have any other materials besides the mythic one, but I also realized there was one thing that we forgot to get before. Wait, hold on. We forgot to create the gem cutting table. This is a pretty simple thing. It doesn't do much, but it allows us to take gem dust, some rarity materials, and a gem, and increase the quality of the gem. So we could go any gem from cracked at common, chipped at uncommon, flawed at rare, regular at epic, flawless at the mythic stage, and I do not know what a perfect would give. or how to craft one, I mean. Now we have, like I said, a lot of God Forged pearls. So now we're gonna create a lot of these. There. No, I'll just make the rest of them. That works as well. Now we also have enough to increase everything else. But for now, let's see. Lucky we're gonna keep. Piercing we're gonna keep. Vampiric keeping. Festive keeping. Bloodletting. We're gonna change this. We want Ancient Knowledge 2. Or Ancient Knowledge 3. Ancient Knowledge 3 is actually a possibility. Ancient Knowledge 3. Or not. We don't have enough levels, again. But now every time we kill, we get Ancient Knowledge 2, so it's actually going to be a lot quicker to get XP, unlike last time. So I'm actually going to do that real quick again. I'm probably not going to come back until I have like 2,000-ish levels. So I will see you guys in a moment. Alright, here we are. We are back and there's 1,600 levels and quite a lot more backpacks. Those will all end up being upgraded to diamond eventually, just not yet. Got another music disc. Alright, anyway, now let's head back into this. We have sophisticated, that gave us the ancient knowledge we needed. There we go. Ancient Knowledge 3 is gained every time we hit something. Now let's start upgrading everything else to the maximum level as well. There we go. Festive. Thunderstruck. That's actually a really good ability. Shredding. There we go. Now I have an incredibly powerful weapon that, as well as attacking and dealing a bunch of damage and giving me Ancient Knowledge 3, I also attack 8 enemies nearby. Oh no, wait, no. Attacks deal 8 damage to nearby enemies. However, when it's increased by how much damage I actually do, I think that's just an insta-kill to everything. There we go. Our sword is complete. See, will we end up getting a new bow at any time? There's an electric bow. That does seem to be like a good choice. It's just string infused alloy, and you know what? We're gonna make this. We're gonna need 4 redstone, 5 copper, 6 gold. 4 redstone, 5 copper, 6 gold. 2, 3, 4. 4, 5. 6 gold, was it? I can't remember. Clearly I don't have the best memory. Alright, now we're going to go into here, where we have all of these. Here. We're going to enrich this first. There we go, that's the enriched done. Now we need to make it with copper in the infuser. There we go, that's that done. Alright. Now we need 3 string and 4 redstone. here. 3, 1. That and make that. There we go. Yes, I made 1 extra infused alloy. That doesn't matter much though. Here for now. Now we have a electric bow. However, this might be a little annoying to actually charge. Unless... can't shoot right now. There we go. Now we get this to 48 kill FE, and we can shoot it. It does use our special arrows. Now can we enchant it as well? Actually, this would all be useful unless we can do that with it. So enchanting does not work, so we cannot enchant with it. However, that should be of little consequence as long as it's strong enough. Alright, so we're gonna start with magical, that's fine how it is. Piercing, that's gonna be fine. Lacerating. So there's something better than lacerating. Draw speed. Yeah, draw speed's better. Go. Piercing. That's good. Streamlined. Yeah, we'll take that as well. Deathbound. Up to Wither 4. Now there. Let's just grab this real quick. Lighted. Now causes Wither 4. Grievous wounds. And yeah, why not? It would be nice if we could put something like infinity on it or something. Some things. Can we put multi-shot on it? No, we cannot. Can we put infinity on it? We can, along with power 4. Now I put endless quiver on this one, hoping that it would work with dragon bone arrows, but it did not. Hopefully infinity does work with it. No, it does not. Oh well. Either way, it's a very good thing to have. Now let's take this book and go back here. Here, remove the name, so now it's just electric bow. I believe we cannot add another socket. Nope. So now what we gotta do is find some gems for this. None of those. Projectile pierce, that's a possibility. Ranged weapons, arrow damage, maybe. Those arrow velocity. We already have a pretty good arrow velocity. Possibly. Depends on what else we find. Draw speed, that's also a really good one. Mind you, we only have 3 slots, so this may be a little difficult choosing which ones for what. Do not like the royal family one on weapons or anything, because negative 65% draw speed does not account for 40% protection pierce. I do not want less armor, so it's between these 4. We have 3 slots. Well, we can pretty good draw speed. Okay, velocity right now. We're gonna do this. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now if we go down here. You know, it's possible that arrow will never actually come down. Though unlikely, it is possible that it got caught on the platform. I'd say if we had this bow for the fight against the Ender Dragon, it would have been pretty nice. Let me see actually. What was that? Alright. Oops. Mistake. Although that mistake reminded me of something. Our backpack can also get proper things. What we were doing prior to me getting the Godforge. There. There. First thing I'm going to do though is remove that negative gravity. Oops, wrong thing. That's what I wanted. 40% more armor. This one we're gonna go for healing received. Or knockback resistance. Ooh, would healing received or knockback resistance be good? We're gonna go for healing received. There. There's that, and to figure out the effects of it, 58.57 armor. 58.57. And nothing changed. Alright, so it didn't actually do anything. none of its effects actually worked. That's been annoying, seeing as how I just used like 500 levels on it. So none of the, actually, hold on. Let's see. If I instead put it in here, would it work now? Oops. Nope. Alright, that was a waste. Like a huge waste. I thought that it would actually do something, but I was wrong. So, the next thing we are going to do, I think we're going to actually get something else prior to getting better armor. That would be these. This is the other thing we have planned for today. I found these ahead of time and I'm just gonna go straight to these because I think we've found something like this before on camera. I'm not entirely sure though. Our goal right now is to get a dragon egg. If we kill a dragon of tier 4 or higher that is female, it can drop us a dragon egg. Creation 2 for 40 seconds. Actually not doing like any damage. And I take it back. Here's the dragon egg. Here's the dragon thing. Male. Never mind. This one doesn't matter. The other one, we're gonna hope is a female. Because if not, then we're up a creek. Good. More materials. More materials. Should have grabbed my thing back. Actually, I think it's in here. Yeah. So I just need to fix the issue of me not having a zombie one, which should be easy. It's just made out of stuff in here. Should be zombie hearts. Rotten flesh. What else? What else does this require? Some leather, some string. There we go. Nope, not yet. First, it's gonna need these. Not that. Bones. I need some bones. Alright. Two, three, four, five. Turn that off. 6. Here. 3, 6, 1. There's a new zombie charm. Now we can take this down. Put the zombie in. Here we go. Now we're just gonna throw all of that in, throw that out. Now we're gonna head back up to the other waypoint stone. I was trying to get a lightning dragon from this because lightning dragons are slightly more powerful than the other types. However, clearly it's not working out with that. So instead, the other beacon leads to a ice dragon. I don't know if that one's a female either. If it is, we're in luck. If it's not, then we're gonna need to use our compass a little more. Be right back once I get back to the base so I can teleport to the other waystone. Alright, we're back, and now we're going to go to the other waystone we have. We're going to pick this up really quick. And, oh, we're getting a little bit of lag. It is... I don't know what it is. It's laggy, that's what it is. Oh, that was a really quick kill, and it's a male. So obviously the bow is working as we wanted it to. That thing died incredibly quick. Like the other one, not going to check all of these, just going to check some for anything useful. That. Grab some more sapphires. Riptide. White. Another mythic. Alright, this is it for this. I'm gonna take this now. We're gonna look for a lightning dragon cave. Search. Found one. That way. First we gotta get out of here. So again, I'm gonna meet you guys at the surface and then we're gonna head towards that cave together. Alright, here we are back on the surface. Now just really quick, I'm gonna put this away. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Alright, here we go. We're going this way, which is even further away from anything else that exists, which means even more lag. Perfect. Yeah, I don't think this one was actually that smart of an idea. Alright, here we are. We're at a distance of 0 from the cave, so it should be directly below us. Hopefully this will be a female lightning dragon. I do have a preference for what the color dragon I would like, because I definitely would not want like a copper dragon. Preferably either a purple, I think it's called an amethyst, so either an amethyst or a black dragon I think would look nice. Or honestly at this point I'd just take a dragon. Here we go. Okay, here we are. Female. Can't see the color, but it's dead already. This bow is really, really powerful. Alright, let's see. There it is. Electric blue. Alright, that's fine. I mean, realistically, there's nothing wrong with that. I have my preferences, but getting something in general is still nice. well, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go towards the base again, out of this lag zone, so somewhere much closer to spawn, because the further away from spawn you go, the more laggy the server gets. I'm gonna go somewhere much closer to spawn, and I'm gonna look for more dragons, because there are some that I would prefer to have. And you never know. Always helpful to have multiple. Although we'd only be hatching one. Alright, anyway. I'll see you guys when I get back to base. In a moment. Alright, I am back. It's been a little while and I've collected a few different things. First, let's just deal with the armor and everything else that I got. So decided I'm just gonna scrap everything that I have that is scrappable. As you can tell, I've gotten quite a few different dragon eggs. Right here is getting towards the rest of what I have. There. And that should be almost everything. Okay, that should be all of it. There we go. Now let's grab the dragon eggs. Let's show off what I have so far. I'll clean up the rest of this later. Alright, we have a blue, 2 sapphires, 2 electric blues, 1 black, 1 white, 1 amethyst. We're gonna take the black and the white ones, which are a lightning dragon and a ice dragon, and these are going to be our 2 dragons. I did not get any fire dragons, but there's one thing we are missing actually. In the bestiary, if we go on to lightning dragon eggs, in the rain outside is where it needs to be. So that needs to be in the rain outside, and this needs to be in water. Alright. So I've got some water here. I can deal with the ice dragon easily. First, before that, let's create some other items. And also, let's get rid of this. So what we're gonna need now is gonna require this, possibly that. First, what we're gonna craft is, I believe it's called the dragon horn. Here we are. And stuff is right here. Dragon horn. Yep. Anyway, this is the... not that. It was this one. This is the dragon horn. The dragon horn will allow us to store the dragons someplace safe. I'm gonna make 2 of those, 1 for each dragon. 2. There we go. Besides that, I'm gonna make a command staff, which is gonna require a skull. Use a skull, I guess. We have a command staff and the horns. Besides that, there is something else we can make called dragon meal. The dragon meal made out of meat and bones, any type of meat, including rotten flesh, which means the thousands of rotten flesh we have from our mob farms will work for this, and the bones we have from our wither farms will be able to make this. The dragon meal will advance the speed at which the dragons will age. However, we're not going to be using those in this episode. We will probably only be hatching these in this episode. Stop there. We're going to start off with all the way down. I know nothing can get out of here. There. Now we put in the water. And we put in the egg. It says 360 seconds before it hatches. So I might just need to see you guys in 6 minutes. Oh, there we go, yeah. In 6 minutes it will be hatched. Alright, here we are. As you can see, the dragon is born. Here it is. Full white dragon. And there it is, everyone. Looks quite good if you ask me. I think white was the right choice. Alright then. Let's start with throwing it in the horn first. There it is. Zero days old, unnamed female ice dragon. Now oh, printing. Yep, now is the right time to hatch the lightning dragon as well. Yep, there it is. Well then, again, I will see you guys in 6 minutes. Alright, here we go. We're about to witness the birth of this dragon egg as well. 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is. First we had the white dragon, now we have the black dragon. Also, I'd like to apologize. I just realized that for the past while I've had my fan going on in the background. Go. Now we have two we have an ice dragon and a lightning dragon. And I believe that will actually be all we have time for today. Today was more so of a relaxing session. Not tomorrow. Next week I have a lot more planned, and we will be doing a lot to do with Applied Energistics right here. I think I've talked about it once before, maybe twice even, but Applied Energistics will allow us to have a storage system that is all digital. Basically, we'll have a computer screen that we can put all of our items inside of and have every single bit stored digitally and in one small storage disk. That's it. And that's what we're doing tomorrow. So until then, I hope that you've all enjoyed. I hope you'll continue to stick around, and I hope to see you guys again. Peace out.